What's happening, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to Tavian's World of Reptiles. I hope y'all are taking care of yourselves. So I wanted to talk to you guys about something I feel like we all kind of experienced when we first came into this hobby. One of the things that we all are told when we're first coming into this hobby is uh, to start with animals that are beginners, so that we can get the experience to handle something that's more intermediate or advanced. Now, we all know that there are the beginner, the intermediate, the advanced species of things, and when we first come in, we are always told those very basic beginner animals to start with. I have some reserves about this for for multiple reasons, I guess. I don't feel like um, in a lot of cases that some beginner pets can actually really truly prepare you for something that's more intermediate and advanced. For instance, a corn snake cannot prepare you for dealing with something like uh, a large boa, anaconda, a retic, or anything like that. Like, so when people come into the hobby and they're like, well, I'm interested in getting, let's just go with a common boa, which can get 8 to 9 feet long, and or bigger, and people are like, well, you should start off with something small, something easy, something easier to care for than a boa because they're intermediate. Now, you can go ahead and get yourself a corn snake, but that corn snake is only going to get so big. That corn snake only has so many requirements, significantly less than what a boa would need. So you can spend so much time caring for this corn snake, and you're still not going to be prepared for how to deal with a boa because they're not the same species. So the idea of using beginner pets as gateway pets, in a sense, kind of makes me cringe, because, as I said, not every species can truly prepare you for something more advanced. Now, yeah, you can build up a ladder. You can go like corn snake to a ball python, which actually does have some humidity requirements, and then move your way up to a boa, or something larger from there. But ultimately, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be investing this time into and this in your energy into an animal that you don't really care about, and that's not necessarily fair to you. It's not necessarily fair to the animal either, because you're not really going to be caring and giving as much to an animal that you don't have very strong feelings for. This isn't just for snakes. This goes for things like lizards as well. Like, somebody who's coming into the hobby may very well be interested in owning a green iguana, right? And so people are obviously quick to say, green iguanas are not beginner pets because they do require a lot. And so, these people might feel forced or you know encouraged to start with something smaller like a leopard gecko, a bearded dragon. But there are no smaller, easier caring lizards that can ever truly prepare you for dealing with an iguana. So yeah, you could get this leopard gecko, you could get a bearded dragon, but it's still never not at all going to prepare you for dealing with the iguana that you truly want. And so now what you're doing is you're investing all this time and energy into animals that you don't really care for no type of experience that's actually going to help you with the animal that you do want. Now, this is not in any way, shape, or form me saying that you should just get the animal that you want right off the bat if you are a beginner, because that can be super problematic very, very quickly. You don't want to set yourself up to fail like that. If you are interested in a animal that, whether that be a snake or any other type of or lizard or any other type of reptile, since that's what I'm mostly focused on, if you're interested in a reptile that is more intermediate or more advanced, I highly suggest you do a lot of research. And this is more than just care sheets, because care sheets only go so far, and most care sheets are basically the same thing. I suggest you hop on some forums, and read through some of those, see what other people who care for these animals have to say about the ways that they care for these animals. Join some Facebook groups, look for the very specific animal that you're interested in, join that Facebook group, talk to people who actually care for these animals, and see what they have to say about the different ways that they care for the animals. And more than anything, if there's any way, shape, or form that you can get to somewhere like a reptile store, a pet store, where you can actually get hands-on experience with the animal and actually talk to somebody face to face, that's probably going to be your best bet. Because yeah, you can talk to people all day long, you can read all the forums, but when it comes to certain things like handling, if you don't even know if you can handle the animal properly, it's not probably wise to go off and get the animal. So if you can find somewhere where you can get some genuine hands-on experience with the animal that you are looking into getting, especially whether that be as babies and as adults, because yeah, babies are great, but if they get giant and you don't know if you can handle that, then you can overwhelm yourself quickly. So yes, you can be interested in these things, but you still need some level of experience. And that does not mean that you have to go and get all these different beginner pets to step your way up, because ultimately that's what it would be. You can't go from a leopard gecko to an iguana, right? You would have to probably build yourself up, get a leopard gecko, then maybe to a bearded dragon, then maybe to, or maybe bearded dragon, then to a leopard gecko, and then maybe to something like a Chinese water dragon. Just steps, slow steps to build yourself up to owning something like an actual iguana. That can take a lot of time. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of emotional investment into these other animals that you're not necessarily interested in. And as I said, that's not fair to you, because you don't want to have to spend so much time with animals that you don't actually care about. And it's not fair to the animals, because you as their keepers should actually genuinely love and appreciate the animals that you have. And if you're getting them just to learn from them and you're not really learning anything just to get to the animal that you want, then you're wasting your time and you're wasting their life. You're not really going to give them the proper care that they need. I mean, yeah, you might give them their basics because obviously you're trying to learn, but when it comes to really investing in them and giving them your all, you're not going to do that as much with an animal that you're only using to learn from, just to get the animal that you want. So if you're going to get an animal, don't get it just to use it to learn to take care of another animal, because a lot of times you're not actually learning anything, because so many times these beginner animals don't come anywhere near the level of care needed for these intermediate or advanced species. And so what you're doing is you're just wasting time. You're wasting time with beginner animals that have very simple, easy care, when you're trying to get experience on a more advanced animal that has a lot more care involved. And you're not going to get anything if you're taking care of an animal that doesn't require humidity, doesn't require all this extra stuff, doesn't require heat or lights or anything, and then trying to shift to an animal that does require humidity, heats, and lights, and all those other things. So anyway, I don't want to keep rambling. I'm just saying that when you're thinking about getting your first animal and you're hearing all these people say start with these beginner pets, really take that with a grain of salt, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself taking in animals that you don't really care about just so that you can get towards experience with the animal that you do care about, and you're not getting the experience you actually need, because beginner pets cannot give you all the experience you need to get to something that's more advanced. So anyway, I started getting on this because I've actually watched a couple of podcasts, and or listened to a few podcasts and watched a few videos, and have heard it. Heard a few people say that they don't really necessarily like the idea of people using beginner pets to get to more advanced species because of all the things that I've said. And I think that's a really important thing to remember. Those are all really good facts, and I just figured, I would go ahead and put my own thoughts on there, because I do also agree that beginner pets don't necessarily always work. If you're working towards something that you truly want, that's not necessarily a beginner pet. So anyway, That's all, you guys. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about this. Whether you agree, whether you disagree, whether you have some, some agreements and some things that you don't necessarily agree with. I want to hear it all. Put them in the comments. Share what you have to say. I want to know what your thoughts are on this when it comes to using beginner pets as gateway pets for something that's more advanced. So, anyway, this is TWR, you guys. I'm out of here. You guys take care of yourselves. Love your reptiles. Love your loved ones. And you guys keep spreading those herps.